time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing that. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Huber way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
All these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kid me one. My girl, and say, this is.
Oh, I was praying, and I had to pray because I don't know how to deal with illness and sickness. I mean, I used to be really healthy. I used to do everything good or right. At least I tried to. I did my occasional stuff if I needed to or had to. But, I just don't know. Lord, I thought I was your favorite. I mean, how could I get illness? How could I get kidney disease and sick and dialysis and everything and look like this? Come on. I was your girl. I was always your girl. You know this. You love me. I know you do. You care about me. I know you do. And I prayed real hard. I mean, I prayed. I fast. I went to church. I believed you in everything. What, you said this is a calling? This is something I need to do or have to do? Okay, Lord. All right. I'm taking it in. It wasn't easy. I cried many tears, buckets of tears, but all right. All right. Okay. Maybe you put one of those beautiful angels in my path. What's her name? Liza, Kiki, whatever. Oh, Leaky. No, Lisa. Lisa back. Right. Because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hi, guys, how are you? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. Man, it's a storm up here. What Hurricane Henry in New York. I'm telling you, I went to see my sister, man. The things was blowing me back practically, but I was going. If I had to swim there and then I had to take a boat back, but I got back here to you. Those are all the little visiting stickers, and I left some over there just to show you how many times I had to go over there, and you're not even seeing all of them. But I wanted you to know that. Yes, continue to pray for her. She's getting better. She has pneumonia and stuff like that, but they're going to send her to a rehab so she can get more, get stronger and everything, help her with speech and walking. And I'm telling you, God is doing some good things, because she could have been gone and left us, but she hasn't, and she's not. And I thank God for every one of you who have prayed out there. Thank you for showing me love, showing my family love, and y'all always have. I can't say you haven't. Well, let me get crack-a-lackin'. How about that? All right, I got a wonderful guest. Yes, I do. And just before I start her, what resources would you like me to talk about on the show or put in the chat box? Because I put resources that I know and I've developed down the years, but maybe it's something that I didn't put that you want. So please, please just let me know. And just to make you smile and laugh, these are my Lisa Baxter Show things. This was the first one I made so many years ago, maybe over 12 or so years ago. And this one, when the guy made the copy, he made it this color, but I fell in love with it. How about that? And let me show you. And we got this. This is for my Blessed Kidney Connection company that I started so many years ago too, connecting people to everything that they might need. And I'm still doing that. Whether it's a company or not, your girl gonna give you that 411. How about that? We getting down to the wire. Next week, I got 2 shows. One 4:30, Lisa Baxter present, right? And it's a show with producers, authors, and hosts. So don't miss that. Okay, and it'll be live on my YouTube channel, the Lisa Baxter Show channel. And then you have my other show after, which is the 8 o'clock show, like this one. Oh, and I got 3 fantabulous guest powerhouses. So you better tune in if you want to know more. The poster's there. Now let me introduce my fantabulous guest, Shondo. Listen, okay, this is Joan Simpson, right? She's a woman that helps other women. She helped women in trouble. She's a life coach. She's a woman that helped abuse women. That's right. And she has so much to her story. I'm going to let her tell her own story. How about that? With a few questions from me. All right. Introducing. Come on. Welcome to the Lisa Baxter Show, Joan Simpson. Woo woo. Hey, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so very much. Thanks for having me. How are you today?
Wow. All right.
Speak up, apparently. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you a little bit better. Thank you for talking up a little louder.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I saw you do that. I know that's a sign.
Well, mine kind of slide out a little bit too. But yeah, I'm glad you got that hint. I ain't mad at you. Yes, girl. Thank you so much. I know we was trying back in May and we didn't have good internet. So back on Mother's Day. So now I had to have you back and get this wonderful show rolling and going. And I thank you just for saying yes and trying me out. So you're a life coach. And what was your occupation before you became a life coach?
My occupation was in accounting, finance. I've been doing finance for over 20 something years, and I'm going to be retiring in 26 weeks, so I can really concentrate on my life coach business and just making that happen and connecting with my clients and trying to get them to see that this life is not all there is. I want them to learn how wonderful they are and how that they are enough, that whatever they're going to do, they can do it, and I'm here to guide them in that direction. So that's my goal when I retire, to really concentrate on helping as many women as I can. And as you mentioned, my focus is on abused women, and I have some experience with that. So I think that what I've learned over the years, I can bring to the table and help others to get to the point where they can live their best life. My brand is the no limitations broad, because I believe that there's nothing that can stop us except ourselves. So if we start living our lives the way we want to, before the abuse, before someone put it into our heads that we deserved to be abused, and change the dynamics of our lives, we can make better choices and live happier lives. So that's where I come in. Those are my people. Those are my soulmate clients, as one of my coaches mentions. People that I can help to live better lives and forget the stories that they've been told, forget what um, someone has told them, to make it, to, what's the word I'm looking for? To explain why they feel like they should have been abused. Those stories are lies, and I want to help my ladies get past those lies and to become who they were meant to be before that abuser came into their lives and changed it. So that's my goal, and that's what I do.
Okay.
That's my business.
Mm. All right. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, it takes a real strong person, or even I would say a strong woman, to take on heavy burdens or heavy loads or tasks. It's not always easy, especially with people having their own things on their own shoulders. But you didn't count a robbery to become a life coach. You haven't counted robbery to help other people, or I would say other women. So, what made you choose that profession or path? I would say.
I chose it because I know what I needed when I was going through what I was going through. It took a lot of years for me to get to a point where I knew that no, this wasn't me. I was a victim. But now I chose not to be that victim anymore. I chose a different path for my life. A life that's going to bring me more happiness, a life that I deserve to have. And before my abuser put the ideas in my head and said all these things about why he was abusing me, and it was all my fault, I had to change that dialogue. I had to change that message and realize, no, it's not me. There's nothing wrong with me. I had to realize that it was his problem. So, in order for me to help others, I think that because I've been through it, because I know the the slick way that people have of making you feel like something's wrong with you, we can work through that. I can start it with them, and I can tell them what I did to get past that, and just to help as many women as I can to know that they are enough. You are enough just the way you are, and whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's a choice. We have to choose that better life. We have to choose that different path. We have to reinvent our lives. We have to change the story that we've been told. So that's who I am. I am Joan, the No Limitations Broad, who can help women to realize that there really are no limitations as to what we can do if we put in the work. And it's work. There are tears, there's pain, there's so much. But on the other side of all of that is this wonderful, wonderful woman that was always there, and she just didn't know it. So when I can get to that woman, I my whole life, I'm just so happy. I'm choking up because it means so much to me, because I know what abuse does. I know how it knocks you down. I know that, but I also know what working through it does. Believing who you are, having the right circle of people tell you that that's encouraging you along the way, even when you feel like you don't want to go on. You can go on, and so that's my gift. That's my blessing. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Something's wrong.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. I couldn't hear you
All
before.
right.
Is this better, Jared? Is this better? Can you hear me?
I can hear you better. Okay. Now, if I
Okay.
walked into your office or called you on the phone, if I had a situation, whether it was abusive or whatever kind of situation I had, say
Hmm.
I had polycystic kidney disease, which I do, and
Right.
say I was on dialysis, which I was, and say if I had a transplant, but I'm distraught, and I called you or I went to your office, in what way or what way can you help me, or would you think or try to help me?
I would try to help you to realize that no matter what you're going through, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's a lot has to do with how we
Mhm.
our attitudes. We have to try to stay positive. I'm not downplaying anything because some things are
Sure.
really heavy. Some things are really heavy, but I also realize that your attitude plays a big part in it. Your circle of friends plays a
It
big
does.
part of how you're going to react to the pain that you have. So I'm going to try to talk a person into seeing, okay, who are you with? You know, change that. Change some people are not good for you. Some people you have to love from a distance because even though they may love you, they may not have the right answers for you. They may not be the what who you need to help you get through that pain.
Sure.
So that's what I do. That's what I would say. Choose your circle of friends. Think about your blessings. Do your affirmations and really believe
Yes.
them, live them. Those are things I try to do. Those are the things I try to teach my friends, myself, my daughter, my granddaughter, that how we think has a lot to do with what we do in our lives. So we have to put those positive thoughts there. We have to pray. We meditate if that's what you do. Just find
Yeah.
a way. I believe in journaling. Just getting those thoughts out. If you don't want to talk to somebody, write it down. Lock it up. It's yours. Just get it
Mm.
out and learn to deal with it in that way. So that's what I would do to
Yeah.
really
Well,
help you.
attitude, it helps a lot. You know what I mean? When I had to go to dialysis and everything, and I was distraught and upset, all I could do was hold on to God and hang on to Him, and even watch my siblings that was dealing with it. But at the time, I had the tunnel vision of trying to deal with this thing myself. How can I meet it head on, or do this thing? You know what I mean? And all I can think about is I have to look at it as if it was saving my life. And that was one of the things that, God let me see, that it helped me to, to deal with it a lot better. You know what I mean? So, I mean, between praying and between trying to help myself and learn about this thing, educate myself about this illness I'm dealing with, I had to go out there and help somebody else. But before I can do that, I had to learn to get a grip
So,
on myself and everything. Now, don't think I didn't cry. And I'm like, oh my God, what? All my siblings got kids. Lord, I ain't got no children yet. And it's harder to have a baby. Not only just to conceive, but to carry it, have dialysis every single day.
yeah.
Shando. No, I didn't like that type of thing. But he showed me a way. He just showed me, he dealt with me and he helped me. If it wasn't for him, I couldn't be upbeat or to deal with this thing. I'd have just, cashed my chips into like any and everybody else. So many I had to talk to that didn't even want to give dialysis a chance or care about it or understand it or anything like that. And it's hard when you're in that type of hole and can't get out or hit rock bottom. Sometimes you go through that when somebody dies, but sometimes it feels like your life itself died, even though you're not dead. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes, I do.
it's a heavy thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever had to deal with any dialysis patients or transplant patients or somebody that had kidney disease or any other type of illness. If you have, I'm sure you probably handled them with kid gloves and you are trained in this area, right?
Yes. The one thing I also know besides prayer and positive attitude is laughter and joy. We
Mhm.
got to find joy. We have to laugh and, find ways to
Sure.
you
Yes.
know, just laugh. And sometimes that's all it takes to help you to feel better. And I try to use
Yes.
humor when I'm dealing with my friends, my clients, my family. I just try to use humor as a way because we all need that laughter. Laughter is healing.
So true.
It's like whatever we're going through, we're going to go, and as humans, as imperfect humans, we're going to go through something. That's just how our lives are set up. It may be as small, minute, but it's big to us, or something gigantic. And we have God, and we have our family and friends sometimes, but we also have that laughter to to
Yeah.
help us. There's fun in life, you know. Even when you're going through stuff, you can still laugh about it or find a way to be humorous. And
Yeah.
those are things that I
Hmm.
use for myself, and those are things I use just daily in my life with my friends and family and my clients. Everything, because it's so important. And when you get that smile of from a person that is going through stuff, you just my heart just gets real big, and I just want to make them laugh more.
It
I
get big,
I
right?
could
Yeah,
get
I
real
know.
silly. I can get real silly just trying to make them laugh. And so it's a combination of things. It's the seriousness of it. Yes, illness is whatever that illness is, mental illness, health, anything, that's rough. It's hard. So sometimes you got to find a way to just smile, be kind, love, do what you have to do. And like I always say, and I've said a few times here, it's your circle of friends. Find that circle, that positive circle. And I've been blessed to, find that.
Mm,
And I try to emphasize that with my with anybody that comes into my life. That's
yeah.
important, who
Yeah.
you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with all negativity, you're not gonna feel good ever. Because this person has, oh, you think you got it bad? Let me tell you about my story. You know, and then everybody is just depressed and crying, and but you surround yourself with positive, you're
Yeah.
gonna get positive. So that's
Yeah.
what I do. That's how I help my everybody, including myself, especially myself. Because you can have good days and bad days. You can be a caregiver and have good days and bad days. So what I tell you to do is what I tell myself to do so that I can get through it as well.
Well, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And sometimes, like when you tell your story, it blows people away. But I've heard stories that blew me away. I'm like, oh my God, they're going through that? Who would know or who would see? I mean, some things we might wear on our sleeve. We might not wear everything. Sometimes you wait, you get in the house, close the door, and then start crying and screaming or having your little fit. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Some of us
I
eat
do.
our feelings. I used to be
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
I'm better. I'm better. Now,
Good.
Miss Simpson, what would you say? Um, one of your, let me see, I want to do. What would you say one of your best experiences or cases, or unforgettable case, a good unforgettable case, without breaking HIPAA? What was one of your unforgettable cases or ways you helped somebody or did something for somebody that you would never forget? I have some that I always go back to when somebody asks me that question, or if I want to feel like better about something, I think about that and it just makes my heart happy. You have a case like that? I'm sure you do. Everybody
I
got
do.
at least
Yeah,
one.
I do have one young lady, and she did a beautiful testimonial for me about sometimes you don't realize what you do for people. She has she's a single mom. She was living with her mother. Her mother had issues. Her son was just very upset because he didn't have a dad. It went through all of that stuff along with her own issues with an abusive man and her mother not being as what's the word, as supportive as she should have been. And we walked through it. I helped her with a lot of things because she needed so much more. She needed a job. We did the resume. She needed to feel wonderful about herself. So we talked about ways. I gave her the affirmations. I did all that. And now she's teaching in school. She's loving her life. She's going to move out from her mom. Her son is doing better. It's just that story. I mean, it was a voyage, but it was so worth it because she wanted help. She needed it, and she took it. And when I talked to her, and I could see her spirit changing, I could see her attitude changing, and she's so grateful to God. She's grateful that we were able to go through this journey together. Because that's my story with her. It's like her kid is doing better. She's doing better. She's having a better relationship with her mother, and she's just enjoying her life right now. So that's one of my best stories. There are a few, but she comes to mind because at the beginning she was so lost. She was so lost, and now she holds her head up when she walks. She's just one of those wonderful, wonderful young ladies that I'm proud of. Really proud of her.
Okay. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, it's always one. I'm telling you that, like I said, that touch your heart. But there's
Yeah.
also one that you've done everything you can, and I have not forgotten those cases or those situations either. So I'm
Yeah.
sure you have at least one that you've done everything, you tried everything, you pulled out your bag of tricks, you did everything you can think of possible, and it didn't work the way you wanted to. Maybe it worked a little bit, maybe it didn't work at all. Share that one.
Sometimes you tell people, like I say, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. We have a lot of cases, a lot of women or people, period, that's just not ready. No matter what you say to them, no matter what you put in front of them, no matter how everything is turned up, Jared. I'm turning it up. I'm screaming. I'm actually. Can you hear me now? Um, this young lady. Okay, good. Thank you. This young lady, I worked overtime with her. We talked about it, and she called. Ended up calling me Ma, and just, you right, Ma. You right, Ma. I hear you. You right, Ma. But she just always went back to her habits. She's always went back to being unhappy. Made the choice to be unhappy because it is a choice. And she chose not to do the work that it would take for her to get to the other side of that misery. So I still check on her though. I check on her all the time just to make sure she's fine. And she's still fine.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that too, you know. I had a case where when I was a counselor for the youth, a young counselor for the youth, and I was dealing with runaways and abused children and stuff. And one of the children would not, he wouldn't. We were so close, and I was a recreational director at the time, and I was counseling as well, like a double job type of thing. And he wanted to stay with me and he couldn't because he only could stay 12 hours a day where I was working because that's for how long we were open.
Right.
And I don't know, they sent him to a place. He was with me for like weeks, months. They couldn't find a spot for him. And then they finally found a spot for him. And I said, well, your brother, your family is going to come for you. They're going to become of age and they'll be able to take you because he was too young. He was close to his sibling. And they wouldn't let the sibling have it until he was of age and this, that, and the other, and the paperwork. So I said, you only got to last a little while and then he's going to have you and you're going to be all right. And he went crying and screaming, and I couldn't cry in front of him or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
he barricaded himself inside of a place where he got, and they couldn't catch him or get him. And I don't even want to say what happened with him,
Oh no.
but there was no screaming, but a lot of fire. And I
Okay.
tell you, that broke my heart. It took a whole lot. My archbishop, he was a pastor at the time. He had to pray for me and everything because I saw his picture on something and I walked by and I said, "Why?" I said, "Who? That's a cruel joke. Who put that up there?" And nobody said nothing at first. They said, "We want you to come in here," because they knew how close the child was to me and I was to him. And when I found out what happened to him, it just took me a long time to get past it. I said that to say this. That one always stayed with me. I don't know, and I was in my 20s, and I'm 58 years old, but I've never ever forgot that.
Some you don't
And
forget. Some touch you in ways that nobody can, and sometimes you don't know why. They just do. They reach something inside of you, and you just want to help them. And when you can't, it hurts. But if
yeah,
you keep, if it's possible to keep the door open, then you can, know that they know they're always welcome to reach out if they can. So
well,
I
the
understand
only
that.
one thing I could say is one time my husband and I went out and I was standing on the line and the kid walked up to me. Well, he was a man then, and he says, "Your name Lisa Crossland?" And I said, "Well, that was my name." And he said, "Ma, it's me," and I'm looking at him, and he says, "I went to jail He said, but I never forgot what you said. I learned my lesson and I got such a great job and I have it in this place here. And I want you to get the best table. Oh, my eyes filled with tears. My husband, he started saying, like, get the tissues, and I was stop it. God bless him, but I could not believe because he was hard to reach at first and hard to deal with, but I wouldn't, I kept on him and, showed him as much love and support that I could. And I didn't know it penetrated. Because he's like, he was really, and I couldn't believe it, but that just touched my heart. That's another one that I never forget. So, now in all your love that you do for these women and all these things that you do for them, and I'm sure it touches you and do something for you in a turnaround in some sort of way in your heart or something. Well, besides that, do you have a website? Do you have a card or an email if anybody wanted to reach you or join the group or need your help or you want to refer them, whichever thing that you do?
Yes, I have.
Is there a process? Mm-hmm.
It's actually on Saturday, the 28th. It's Saturday. Yeah, 28th was Saturday. I'm doing a little workshop called Reinventing Your Life. And
Nice.
You can go on my website. Like I said, the No Limitations Broad. That's my website, and you can register for the class. For the workshop, and it's just to go over some things like we talked about, how to make the changes, how to change your story, how to have that happy ending. It may not be they lived happily ever after, but it's going to be some kind of improvement, some kind of joy.
Yes.
Like I'm looking for the joy in life. I'm looking to give the joy to other people who may be miserable or stuck in a life and it doesn't always have to be someone that's been abused. Something has stunted their growth and made them believe that they can't do whatever that dream is. And it doesn't matter what age. I'll be 66 in November. I still have a bunch of stuff I need to do before I leave this earth. So you're never too old to fulfill your dreams. You're never too old. So that's what I do. Like I say, my website, the No Limitations Broad. Just go in there. You'll see where to register for the workshop, and just come, show up, and we're gonna have a good time. So yeah, that's it. Or just look through the website.
Talk louder.
Look through the website, and if you can't join at the time, just I post different things. So if it helps you in any kind of way, I'm good with that as well. Just want you to, whoever you may be at this time, I just want you to know that there's help and there's someone waiting to help you. And it may not come through me, but just reach out to whoever you can get the help from, wherever you can find the joy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll put your website in the chat when you go back to see the show and stuff like that. That's what I usually do. Sometimes I'll put information in there. I'll put resources in there. I put all kind of stuff. But, between the show, during the show, I try anyway. It's not that easy because these ain't my reading glasses. I always laugh because that's, you got to keep switching and all of that and look big and some of the words is too small. But I love the fact that you have a big heart and that you do want to do something for somebody. And you don't let your own stuff get you down where you don't still want to help or be a blessing. One of the things I love that you said, I'm trying to read this off here. I should have read it. I read it and then we started talking. You made this statement about Black communities are not talking enough about kidney disease or kidney awareness. So you had said that when we first started talking, and I thought that was nice of you to say, because, and it's a very true thing that we're not as a duck, we're not quacking enough, even though we're trying everything with podcasts and shows and books and, all kind of things, not even a gimmick, but something to get their attention or make them want to eat or pique their curiosity. You try a little bit of everything, different guests, different people, panels of people, you name it. I think we've tried everything and all. And I know in my 12 years I have. And that's all I got. I don't think I got anything else, but whatever I squeeze out, they know it's theirs. But is there anything we forgot to talk about, mention, or say before you give your shout out and before you before you encourage somebody out there, because I want you to encourage anybody out there that want to do what you're doing, or anybody out there that might want to join what you're doing, but I want you to be able to say something encouraging to them.
The one thing I can say is do it scared. Even if you're afraid, just do it. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. The years are going to go by and you're going to wish that you had taken the opportunity to find that life that you want to live, and to do the things that you want to do. We don't have a lot of time on this earth, but so many things are happening. So we have to make sure that we live our best lives when we can. And if we need help to do so, reach out. Reach out to someone. There's so many resources out there for anybody who is suffering or don't know their way. It's just ask for help, and help is there. That would be my message. Do not keep silent about it. Do not, because when you are silent, it starts to eat you from the inside out. Talk about it. Reach
Oh
out.
yeah.
Get help. So that's the thing. Because it's there.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
there. If it's not me, it's someone. Just do it. Just go for it. Change life. Do it scared, and miraculous things happen. You look in that mirror and you begin to see someone that you didn't know was there. You remember her from being that inner child, that little girl, and then something happened and she went away for a while. But when you start working on it, she's going to start smiling back at you when you look in the mirror, and you're going to say, wow, that's the girl. That's the one I remember. And you're going to live your life. That's how I feel. You're just gonna do what you have to do once you do it scared. 'Cause a lot of times I'm afraid, but hey, you have to do it. You have to do it. So I want to thank you, Lisa, because you're giving me the opportunity to do it scared. Because I don't talk in public often. I don't talk, that's just not me. I'm a background person. I'm there to help you, but I'm quiet in the back, but I thank you. I love what you're doing. I love your positive attitude. I love your cause. And it's just, thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you for being who
For
you
sure.
are, for having people here to talk. All of those things, those are gifts from God, and you have them. And thank you for allowing me into your world for a few minutes. I appreciate that.
Well, you are quite welcome. I'm glad Enid introduced us. She was
Me
already
too.
on the show
Yes.
and
I know.
everything like that. And so that's your shout out. You're not that's your shout out also?
Enid is
Okay.
my shout out. Poinsettia is my shout out. Don is my
Uh-huh.
shout out. Pat is my shout out. My daughter Sylvia is my shout out. My granddaughter
Mm,
Janae is my shout out. All these strong, powerful females who have helped me along this path. They have
yes.
made me who I am. And I'm truly grateful. And there are others I can't mention, but the show is only half an hour, so I can't keep going on. But I've been blessed to have that circle. So, ladies, if
Wow.
you're listening, I didn't say your name. It's not because I don't love you. I love you. I just can't remember right now. Okay. I
Oh
feel like I'm
man,
at
it's
the
a
Oscars.
mistake from the head, not the heart, right? My
There you
Archbishop always
go.
say that.
I'm at the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are.
You better go ahead. I ain't mad at you. You ain't never lied. Come on here. Come on here. Wow. Well, I do thank you so much for coming on, for leaving some gold nuggets for us to chew on, to eat, and to pack in our baskets. How about that? So thank you once again. You rock. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. Keep doing the things that you're doing. The women out there need you. So keep doing your thing. Work
You
it all
too,
the way
sis.
out.
You
Come
too,
on here.
sis. You take care. And
Okay.
thanks again.
You welcome, and you have a pleasant night, a fantabulous one at that.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bless your life. Well, guys, you have heard it. You have heard it. V for victory. Isn't the blood important? Amen. Amen. I got some kind of water here my niece gave me. But I thank you again for tuning in and not counting the robbery to hang out with your girl, Lisa Baxter. All right. So I'll see you guys next week with the double shows, and they are my last. But I love you, and I always will. You're in my heart. My heart is a little heavy, feel a little teary-eyed, but it's time to go. And anything that I could do for you, you just let me know. I love you. God bless and take care. Peace. Mwah.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
My girl, and say, this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. My girl, and say, this is.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.